What's up, everybody? Yesterday, crypto was looking a little bit, it was a little concerning. We had Trump, becoming president. It could have been a big sell the rumor event. There's a lot of volatility, and I don't like situations like that. Simply because of from a risk perspective, when you're holding positions, you're just not quite convinced one way or another. That's why I like to let the dust settle a little bit, let a couple days go by. I mean, here we are on the very next day. Things seem to be pretty much bouncing back, and that's really good. By the way, I haven't looked at Chainlink in a little while, and I'm looking at it, and it looks actually really nice. You can see this beautiful impulse here, a pullback, right? And then you have another impulse, another three-wave pullback. It kind of it gave me memories of what XRP did, right? You have that pump, a pullback, right? Another pump, and another three-wave pullback. And then basically you get up in here, you kind of play around a little bit, and then break out. So I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it looks pretty decent as far as fractals go, and as far as where we're at here on Chainlink. So when I zoom out on Chainlink, remember we were following this fractal, comparing it to where we are now, not just on Chainlink, but for the whole market, right? Where we have 3 up and then 3 down, and then we continue. So now we have this impulse, right? Beautiful impulse. And we have this sort of 3-wave pullback here. And now we have another impulse. And now you can kind of see inside of this impulse, you kind of have a little bit of a correction here. And now you're kind of 1-2ing, and you're sort of building a base or a range at the top of this wave, right? So it's showing that it's fighting, right? I'm sure we're getting bearish divergence, though. Let's take a look. Yeah, you could see the bearish divergence there. So, it could be, for example, a flat. We could get something like that, take out the bearish divergence, get back down to the bottom of the base here before heading up, right? So I'm not convinced completely that this is going to break out, but if it wouldn't surprise me if we did. Again, it could be a flat in here. Let's look at some other charts and we can see any confluence in anything. So I'd like to get back to the top here, and let's take a look at XRP. So XRP is looking really nice. Like I said yesterday, nothing was wrong with it. It looked great. The only thing is kind of the rest of the market was a little bit weak, and I'll touch on that soon. But XRP here, you kind of got like somewhat of a descending broadening wedge, if you will. And or basically you have like this 3-wave pullback and very corrective. And then following that, we had a big impulse to the upside. We got right back to our previous resistance here. We shot up very fast, and then we pulled all the way back 50%. So if you take this wave here and just cut the wave in half, that's typically where they come to, right? You have a 3-wave pullback in here, and we pulled right into there. And then what we did was very important, which was create a base in here. You can start to see a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders right in there. So, and then we created this base, and now we broke above the base, and now we're sort of stuck in the retracement level. So I'd imagine we get stuck here for a little while. You got point A, point B, and now we're in point C. So it's always difficult. Point C is always the most challenging. What is it going to do, right? So we've been going up for several hours. I would imagine we would get some resistance in here, maybe a pullback in here, maybe flagging out in here, right? And if we do break out, or if we do push higher, maybe we flag out from a higher distance. So in other words, it's doing what it needs to do. It looks pretty well suited for a big breakout in the next, I would say within the next week. It could certainly within a week we could see a breakout. So we'll keep an eye out for that. If we go to the 8-hour chart, now remember, XRP is basically in the $3 plus range, and we haven't been there for a long time, and it feels like XRP's cheap, right? Because remember, it's all psychology, right? So everyone between December and we'll say January, right? XRP was where? Below $3. It was sitting at, $2, $2.30, $2.40, $2.60, basically between $2 and $2.70. So you had a 70-cent range, right? And people were still excited, very excited. XRP's above $2, very, very, very exciting. And then we break out, and then we get to $3, and then everyone's not as excited as they were when we were over here, which is a good thing, right? Because if everyone is too bullish, the opposite occurs. So everybody's kind of up here, kind of like, yeah, it's great. We're up here. At first, people were excited, but then fast forward a couple days. I mean, we've only been up here for how long? Let me put this here. So about a week. I'll just say a week, especially if you count these candles over here. So we've been up above $3 for about a week, and people are just kind of complacent now. They're like, yeah, it's okay. And then once we pulled back to like 294, and 294 was like us pulling back to $2, right? Except it's $1 difference. But the psychology, because what happens is people see their portfolios, right? Let's say your portfolio is 1,000 and you're just used to seeing that. And then we go up to in this range, and now you're seeing this, instead of 1,000, you're seeing it like 1,300, right? But then you get used to the 1,300, and then the 1,300 becomes the old 1,000. And then, as you push even higher, you get to, maybe 2,000. And then when you pull back, and now you're at 1,500, now your psychology changed, right? So, for example, if we went to 800 all the way up to 1,000, and then we went to 2,000, and then we pulled back to 1,500, even though 1,500 is higher than 1,000, it doesn't feel that way when you're in the moment. And I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but it's essentially, it's really the human psyche. It's all about the psychology, right? I mean, it's kind of like when, if somebody dates somebody for the first time and they have a big crush on each other, and then they go out for a couple of years, and then they get married. Well, that changes, right? It's not, it's a different type of feeling, you know what I mean? So same thing with your portfolio. It kind of starts off like, whoa, once we start getting rolling in here. But then once you get used to that, then it becomes kind of dangerous, because now you're expecting something to happen. Before, the average investor, right? Like if we go back when I was saying to load up on XRP basically every single day for the last year plus, back when we were in this range, right, I was saying, look how beautiful this three-way pullback is. And then we had an impulse, and then we flagged out. So you had an A, B, C, and then you had a 1, and then you had a 2. And it didn't matter if I bought it here or if I bought it here. Well, it actually does matter based on the time, but it didn't matter as far as the price. So if I bought it here, it felt less powerful than me buying it here because I sensed it. Now, to someone who's just dollar cost averaging, not really knowing where we are in the chart, buying here could have been worse because you come back up and then you come back down, right? Basically, you're ranging in here, right? You have an accumulation range 1, you step up, you have an accumulation range 2, and then you explode, right? And that's kind of like this range right in here. Whoa. Is kind of like the range like this, right? So if you look at this right here, look at this, 1, and then you have 2, and then you explode. Well, look at this. You have 1, and you have 2. What the fuck? And then you explode? That would be insane. I don't, so you have 1, 2, right? And then you explode just like this, how you have one accumulation range, then another one. So what if these two is just a smaller version of these two and you're about to just rip? I don't know if that's going to happen. It's just kind of funny how it played out like that. But what I'm saying here is anybody who bought in this range really wasn't expecting this. They just weren't, right? Maybe you could say, yeah, well, I was expecting. Yeah, well, to a certain degree, you buy something, you do expect it to go up. But we didn't know if XRP was going to be the last to move, the first to move, right? If it was going to take, another cycle. It's just kind of one of those things. But once we exploded, right, now XRP, the first time investor, because I would imagine there's a lot of new people finally purchasing it, and then we buy it, and then it shoots up like that. The feeling you get is different than from going, for example, from here to here versus from here up to here, right? Because now you're expecting it to go more. You're expecting it to go even higher. But it doesn't have to go higher. That's the thing, right? It doesn't have to. We do have some pretty gnarly bearish divergence here on across all the time frames. So we got to be a little bit careful with that. But even with that, I don't expect it to, because if you look back over here, actually we go to a little bit smaller time frame. See, we were right here. We were oversold, and then we started going down, and then we started coming up. And then it looked like it was bearish divergence, but then it kept going higher, and it took the bearish divergence out. Same thing over here. So if we look at where we are now, yeah, it does look like bearish divergence, and that's typically what you would see between the third and the fifth. But this thing, don't be fooled, because what could happen here is it might not be finished. This could continue going higher, and this can get back to the swing high here, right? Just like the last time. And then we come down, and then maybe even get another high, and then get that divergence, and then it ends, So anyways, that's kind of my that's kind of my rant for today. Just human psychology is just an interesting sort of phenomena, how things play out in your mind differently in different times, but at the core of it, it's still humans 5,000 years ago experienced the same fear and greed as we do today. But now we can actually print it. So what we see here, like, how you watch a movie and a cop, he gets shot, and then now he's on the bed, and they're like, okay, clear. And it's like, deet, 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 deet. No, we lost him, clear, deet, deet. And then he comes back to life. Okay, so what that's doing is it's monitoring his heart, right? Okay, what is this doing? What is this? This is what this is. We are monitoring the human psychology, right? Just like how a doctor sees that, the heart monitor going up and down, your heartbeat, and then it goes flatline, right? That is exactly what we see here, except it's way more challenging, way more complex. So instead of the human heart, it's the human fear and greed. The basically it's measuring fear and greed, right? So, when you think of it in context like that, it kind of helps your trading in a way because, you're not always trying to look for the price to go up or for it to go down. You're looking at it from a different perspective, and then it helps your expectations. It helps make you think, or it allows you to see things more clear. And as we go through the charts, um, I'll kind of touch on examples of that. So, anyways, um, so the small time frames for XRP again, it's just kind of, could we break out? Yeah, but are we? Probably not right now. I don't know. We probably need to maybe flag out a little bit in here, because if this is a 1 and this is a 2, then you're going to need a 1, 2 of the third, and then the third, and then 4, and then 5. So probably a little bit of a pullback in here somehow, some way. Let's go to Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin was a little bit of the concern for me because and why it made me uncomfortable is because I don't really, like I said yesterday, I didn't really like the wave structure. It just seemed awkward. Like if we look at just any coin, like look at Sheep, like you had some weird waves in there. Or if you look at Monero was actually okay. You had a pretty straightforward three-way pullback. You had an impulse. You came back down. You had but it might not be finished. Like for example, we see 3 down. This could be 3 up, and then maybe we get 5 back down, and then we go up. Hard to say, right? But anyway, go back to Bitcoin real quick. It's pumping, and that's what we want. We want this to do very well. If we zoom out here, I'm still looking at this from a fractal perspective. When we look at, for example, if we go to Polygon and we go down to the 30-minute chart and we flip that upside down, you could see over here, here's a beautiful looking fractal there. All right, so let me take a little screenshot of that. So what we have, you have this sort of this three-way pullback. You have that divergence in there. And then you kind of shoot up a little bit, pull back, shoot up, pull back, continue, shoot up, pull back, shoot up, pull back. And then maybe we continue and then it's lights out from there. So, yeah, we could be somewhere in here, and then a continuation. So where did this thing actually go? It went up to almost a 2.272, and then from here, the 2.272 would actually put Bitcoin at about 130K around there. So that's a pretty big fat distance away still. 130K is still pretty far. I don't know. Are we going to get it? I mean, that's the thing. We will have to see. But I don't like, again, how close it is. See how we come right down, we shoot right up, we come right down, we shoot right up. It's very volatile, like extremely close to each other. I prefer it to be more spread out, right? Because when things are spread out, it seems to have a better effect versus when things are so close to each other. Like Like if we zoom in to the 30-minute chart here, you can see just how close everything is, which means it's not sustainable, right? So if you come all the way down, it's going to come right back up. It's going to come right back down. It's going to come right back up. That's not meaning it's not going to keep going up. It's not going to keep going down. It's basically going to find a range, right? Like this. And the best thing we could do is kind of flag out like this and just create distance between the crash and the pump and the pullback. And then even considering going sideways and then continue higher. This would allow the price to kind of, stretch itself a little bit. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm saying that's what I would like to see, because this could easily just come right back down and then come right back up and then come right back down. And then that's just kind of like a trader's paradise where you're just, you're longing, you're shorting, you're longing, you're shorting, and you're just making money in here. Well, that's fine, but for the average investor hodler, they can't make money that way. We want it to break out, essentially, right? Even though that's what I'm doing for a living is trading, I personally don't care for that. So anyways, that's kind of what Bitcoin is doing. I could this be an ABC? Yeah. Could this be a flat like this? Boom. There's three, and there's three. So it's a weird looking running flat, A, B, C. And then here's your wave one. Then we pull back for a wave two. And then we go up for a wave three. Yeah. Could this also be three down and then a more complicated three up, a B wave, and then three back down, or even five back down, then up? It could be an ABC or a WXY. Yeah, it could also be that as well. So how do you know which ones are going to be? You have to track it. You have to wait. You have to see. It's not clear right now. And it's really not clear either, because you're right in the retracement levels. But the good thing is you're in the upper echelon of the retracement levels. If we look here, we have crushed through all the retracement levels with Bitcoin. So that's a really good thing. Yeah, I mean, we are above all of them. All we have to do is essentially break above the all-time high, which is right here, right there. So we're above the 618, the 702, the 786. I mean, that's where we're at. So that's really good. So anyways, that's Bitcoin. We've got to wait and see. Okay, let's look at a couple other ones. So SHIB, I picked up some SHIB early this morning, just for a trade. Not intending on holding it. I could if things really get going, but I'm just holding it for a trade right now. Let me see here. Yeah, it's looking good, for it. So before I get into that, what we see here, because we always got to go back to the fractal, right? That way we understand the context in which we're in. And for that, I could use, let's go up to the daily. And let's go to maybe Filecoin. Yeah, I guess Filecoin would work. I mean, it doesn't matter which one we use, but essentially this is it here, right? So you could see, just to understand the context that we're in, right? We got three there, we got three there. You hit the low, you came up to the high, you come back down, you flag out, you hit the low, and then what do? You shoot back up, and then we pull all the way back down. This one actually pulled into the And that's why I didn't like it anymore, right? Because, this one you could see we pulled back into that support area. This one just blew right past through the support area. Now, again, we had massive things happening. We had Trump becoming president. We had Trump meme coin come out. We had Melania meme coin come out. I mean, there's a couple other things I don't remember. Just basically shenanigans, right? And what happened was people sold off their meme coins and they put them into, because Trump coin is now what, in the top 20? It's like a $4 to $7 billion market cap, just like instantly. Okay, where did that money come from? It wasn't new money that entered the market. It was old money that was here that people traded. They rotated into it. So they had to sell off some stuff to rotate into stuff. And that's why we saw the big dump here. And that's why we saw SHIB come right back to the low. But if you ask me, I think it's it's actually a good buying opportunity for me, just because if we put it into the context of which is people selling off their memes, chasing other memes, well, then that's a good excuse versus like there was a scandal that happened with SHIB only. I don't know. So we see a double bottom here, right? And you can even go as far to say that this is it right here. So if you look closely, and this is what I really wanted to show you, look at this. So instead of looking at it the way we were looking at it, what if it was like this, guys? So we have our 3 up, right? And then we come down, right? And then what we do here is we swoop around, and then we come up and we hit the high. And that's what happened here. We come up, we hit the high, and then we come all the way down, 1, 2, 3, and we take the low. That's what we did here. We came all the way down and we took the low. So that could be, this could have been a hidden little secret route that the market maker set up that I didn't catch the first time. But now that I'm re-examining it, what I'm saying here is this boom, boom, boom could this be here? So that move there, right? So here's your drop, here's your 3-wave up, hit the low, blast off outer space. Maybe we blast off into outer space. And that's how I'm looking at it now. Now, from the untrained eye, I'd probably say, oh yeah, the fractal's invalid now. It's probably no good. Let's just forget about it. Never happened. But no. We need to talk. If something goes wrong, we need to talk about why it went wrong. What happened? How could we learn from it? Because this is forever an evolving market that we're continuing to learn from. So let me take it off Filecoin now that we've discovered that, and let's go to another fractal. And let's see if we can find it there. So if we look at DOT, you can kind of see the same kind of thing in DOT. Look at this, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Right? So you have your 3. You got your 3. You got your slam down, you come back up, meet the high, come back down. And then you do a little Nike swoosh. You come back down, you hit the low, come back down, take out the low, right? We didn't really take it out. And then we shot up like a madman. So, and not to mention, we didn't create a base. We basically had a 180 right here. So this could also be a 180 and we could shoot up like a rocket ship. So I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just giving you examples of how this fractal can be kind of deceiving. Again, we've been looking at this fractal for a while. Let's see. Is there any other fractal we could look at? Maybe, I don't know. Was Litecoin a good one? I don't think it was. That wasn't a really good one for me. I'm trying to think. What was the other one we were looking at? We looked at DOT, Filecoin. maybe Aave? No. Well, anyways, I mean, look at Jupiter, by the way. So let's move over here. Look at Jupiter, guys. That thing looks freaking deadly. It looks like a viper snake. Like, it looks like it's ready to attack you, man. Look at that. You got your 3. You have a big elongated sort of throwback kind of pullback here. You have this little 1, a shallow 2, and then you spike the high like a madman, and you come all the way back down. You back test in here, and now we're sort of holding the low. I mean, this could be a giant 1-2, 1-2 here off the bottom. Super cool looking. Okay, I think QNT was another one here. Okay, look at QNT. So we have our 3, we got our 3, we hit the top, we come all the way down, and we hit that liquidity grab, we come all the way down, we hit the liquidity grab, and then here's the important part right here. So if you look closely, we have a pump and a pullback. Well, that's exactly what happened over here. We had a pump and we had a big pullback. And then once that pullback was complete, we shot up like a rocket ship. So again, Donald Trump is probably going to be signing 200-300 executive orders within the next couple days. So is he going to get to a crypto one soon? I'm sure it's probably not on the top of his list. I'm sure there's much more important things he has to worry about than our stupid investments that he, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's much more important things that he's worried about other than our portfolios. You know what I mean? Even though it's important, and he will get to it, you know, we just got to be patient. So I wasn't liking yesterday's price action. Like I said, I didn't like this because it reminded me of like a 1-2, 1-2. So you see all this oscillation in here, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. It reminded me of like maybe we're bottlenecking, guys, and maybe this is gonna have a big liquidation, and then we can continue. I mean, that could still technically be the case, but we've definitely helped the chart out a lot, because if you look here, we're starting to get a bottom, and a bottom in here. So we're starting to slow down on those 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, because anytime you have a 1-2 and then you reset and then you reset and then you reset, it's gearing up for a big move either down or up. And that's why I'm glad that we sort of are holding support. This and this is important. So that double bottom and this big 1-2 gave me relief of, and it also gave me more confidence that, hey, maybe this is holding in here. That's what we need. We need it to hold. Okay, where's Theta at? Because I don't even remember if I talked about it yesterday. So Theta, you know, it still looks okay. It's not my favorite looking chart. Not right now, but that will change hopefully soon. Yeah, it's just not my favorite look, you know, just because of this. I just don't like the way that looks, but it is what it is, you know. But I do like the impulse. I do like the 3-way pullback. And I guess you could say this is a 1, this is a flat, you know. You got your 3 up and then your 3 down, and then you spike the high. I wish we could have broken the high, but we didn't. And then we come back down and then we hold this support area in here, which we also didn't. But what's important to me is, let's see, is there a trend line right here? That is important. So we're holding trend, right? And we can also see one over here, and we're kind of creating some type of maybe a triangle. I don't think it's a triangle, but it could be. So let's entertain that idea for a minute. So we could see, and I was like using this, an A, a B, a C, a D, and now here's your E, guys. And now we're ready to freaking 1-2-1, you know, ready to get going. So it could be a triangle, and it could be complete. I would actually do it like this. There we go. So it's not the greatest looking triangle, but you know, it works. Everything meets the qualifications. So you know, we'll see how it goes. So that's theta. That's one idea. What about another idea? Well, the other idea would be essentially this fractal here, right? So on one hand, you could say that obviously you got your three there, and you got your 3 here. So boom, 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 right? You shoot up, you pull back, you shoot up, you pull way back, I think too far back, and then you continue, and then hopefully we continue. So yeah, I think it looks okay. It looks okay for now. What's important is building structure, building support, because back over here, I said it doesn't look ready, and then it was looking good here, but we pulled back too far. But now I see proof that we've held support, right? So if we zoom in, you could see here and here. That's very important right there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'd like to see it come down here and hit another 3. Get 3 points of support, and what that does is that builds a base, that builds a support base, so that this low here has more support, right? Or meaning, like, if we come back up and then we come back down, then it's more sustainable, because instead of just having this, we have all of this, you know what I mean? So it basically puts more nuts and bolts into the beams, into the support beams of our price structure. But other than that, let's go to the weekly here. The weekly chart is where it's at. The weekly chart is why I'm still very bullish on XRP. I mean, Theta. Because of this, right? I see a beautiful impulse right there, and then a beautiful 3-way pullback. So we're flagging out, right? So, and not only that, but where this wave went to was basically back to the high here. Okay, and that's important to me. And that's also important because if you stretch it out, oh, come on, right there, you could see we're cupping into that break point, right? So your break point is kind of like your halfway point. It's where momentum really shifts, right? It's kind of like the 50% line. You know, it's like a mid break point, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, even 4. So this area is very important. And you're cupping into the resistance. You're cupping into the resistance. You're weakening it. You're weakening it. Eventually you break it. And when you break it, then you get into, let me see if I can clone it real fast. We get into this point here. And this would be really your final stage right in here. So we break that, we're going straight to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bucks, right? And then we kind of maybe flag out on top here, because or even also back testing it, right? We could have a big violent back test and then a continuation, and that's what I'm hoping for Theta, right? Because we still don't really know if Theta is going to go into price discovery. We know XRP is going into price discovery, right? I mean, we can't say for certain, but I mean, we're basically already there in terms of market cap and other things like that. That's again why XRP was my biggest holding. It still is, because the setup in which we had, for example, the only reason XRP is, despite it being one of the coolest cryptos on the planet, and also America first, all that cool stuff, right? So if I put them both side by side here, and I'm going to go both to the monthly chart, look at the difference between the monthly charts. Which one, in your opinion, is more developed? Right? Don't look at this. Don't even look at that. Pretend this doesn't exist. I'm just talking about the correction part. Right? They both have pumps. They both have crashes. They both have a little bit of a retrace. But look what XRP has that Theta doesn't. It has all of this structure in here. The more structure you have, it's just like a building, guys. When you're building a building, the more structure you have, the more support you're going to have, the more strength that building's going to have. And XRP was going sideways for years. It was torturing people, and people didn't understand it. Like, you had Crypto Crew University, you had Alessio Rastani, big names that I really support and respect, say that this thing's probably not going to do anything. It's probably going to inch its way out of the top 10. But not only did it crush what they said, but it is surpassed ADA, Dogecoin, Tether. I mean, it freaking flipped BlackRock, for crying out loud. So what this means is we have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. The sideways is the most important part. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulate. We don't really have anything sideways in here, unless we're not looking at this model, right? Because this is the same model here, right? Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. What model could represent a big fat bullish theta price? Well, it is none other than the Ethereum model, or even the total 3 model. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Where's Ethereum? Let me just type it in here. So if we look at Ethereum and you look back in the day here, this is what I call the W model. Okay? And the W model is also extremely bullish. And what basically this means is, instead of having to do what XRP did, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, then we go sideways and torture everybody for years, only to then get a breakout years later and just, completely change the landscape of complacency. Like, there were so many people who just didn't care about XRP, because what would happen is they would buy XRP at 50 cents. They would sit on it for 6 weeks. It wouldn't move, and then they would sell it. And that's just how it went for years. And I never sold, ever. And I only bought. And I basically said, it's going to happen until it's going to go sideways until it doesn't. And it's going to surprise everybody. And sure enough, it did. And we called it almost perfectly. Basically, we did. I mean, I'll have to go back and look at some receipts on our old videos just for fun. But man, that was amazing time. So what I'm saying here is, I can translate that to what I see into Theta, right? And what I see here is not having to go through that route, but instead a different route. And what route is that? It's the same kind of route, except it's more of a W shape. So you have your rise, your crash, your retrace, basically like a liquidity grab / reaccumulation, quick move down, and then a blast off. And what that does is it gives you the shape of a W pattern. And that's exactly what we could see here with Theta. A beautiful W pattern. Now, the difference in the W's are a little bit awkward. You could see this one came down right to here, right? This one's more of a slant. So I would say this one's actually more bullish than that one, because on the move back down, you know, it was supposed to end here, and then we had C19. It ended a little bit lower. So, let me see here. If you look at the fib levels, we didn't even hit any of the fib levels here. So with this one, it was more around the 886. Okay, so they're pretty close. They're pretty close as far as where they went down to. But the major point I'm trying to emphasize here, and let me actually go to the 2-week chart here. There we go. That looks way better. And then I'm actually gonna add the 2-week chart to the favorites. That way I can always see it. There we go. So if I had to guess where Theta is right now, I would assume it's somewhere right there. All right. So again, you got your W pattern, you got your W pattern. So that's the thing that could play out, rather than having to have a rise crash. We get up here into retracement, then we have to come back down, then we have to go sideways, then we can break out freaking 5 years later. And that was always the concern I had with Theta. And that was what was keeping me from essentially going more into Theta, was the risk of having to wait that extra time that I knew I didn't have to wait with XRP. See what I mean? I'm trying to you know, help you understand the way my thinking was at the time, and it is today. Why does it do that? Okay. There we go. So, could we see that W pattern? Absolutely. And that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. Because if we shoot up here with a nice alt season, I mean, we could get up to 10, 11, 12 bucks. But here's the problem. That's when we're going to run into the big problem, is can we get through the retracement levels, right? Because again, XRP is already through the retracements. Theta has to get through it. And we're not even at one retracement level yet. I mean, we still have to get through all of these guys. 236, 382, 50, 618, 702, 786, 886, all-time high, just to get to the 618 target. Now, I don't know if that's going to be easy or if it's going to be hard. And that's what we're waiting for. I think the first level is going to be easy, and that level is going to be basically like $5, between $4.50 and $5 right there. That's going to be the first level. The second level is going to be between, I'm using the 2-week order blocks here, so we'll see how accurate they come out to be. But basically $7.50 to like $9. And then you're looking at one more area. Obviously you have some areas in the middle here, and there and there. So that's kind of all the levels I'm looking at here. You can pause it, screenshot it, whatever. I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, not the levels themselves, but down to the right penny, right? I mean, it could be within a margin of 10 pennies. I don't know. But yeah, getting through all of this is like a fishnet, right? And we have to get through it. So the good news is the way the structure is shaping out, this looks like a beautiful cup and handle, right? When I zoom in, Theta looks like meh, but when I zoom out, Theta looks really great. I really like the way it looks. And I'm very close. Like, I really want to see XRP push itself into that $4+ range so that I can feel a little bit more comfortable swapping into Theta. Because again, if, you know, Theta is cheaper than XRP, but ultimately Theta will be more expensive than XRP. It's only $2, right? The all-time high for Theta was what? $15? No. What was it? Yeah, $15, right? The all-time high for XRP was $3.30. Okay? So Theta's only at $2, $2.12. So when we look at XRP, that's like XRP being at, what did I say, $2.12. So right there, right? But instead of going, $8 to $10 for XRP, Theta is going to go to $8 to $10 like nothing, because that's where it needs to go just to get to the retracement levels, let alone, for example, XRP getting all the way up to a 4.236 extension. You see what I mean? So it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. But I think we can do it. So yeah, on the weekly chart, XRP still looks really, really good. I don't like the divergence here. That's why we need this to get going. But I do love the W here. It's got a more elongated W look. But we have that reaccumulation, basically like a billet of steel right there. You ever watch Forged in Fire, where they get the billet of like 1090 steel or whatever, and they pound it and they mold it into a knife? The man's man. I've always wanted to do that. Anyways, SHIB. SHIB looks exactly like Theta, and I love it. It looks like it's cocked back. You got a beautiful cup here. And I forgot to tell you, real quick on Theta, man, we're already at 51 minutes here. Do I talk that much? Jeez. I guess I just talk too much. Look at this cup and handle right here. You see the little... There you go. Look at that. You got a nice cup. You got a nice handle. Perfect. And then you also have the W look to it. So guys, it looks perfect. It looks beautiful. So I go back to SHIB, and it looks exactly the same. You got your little bull flag here. You got your handle. You got your cup. The difference is that I like SHIB maybe a little bit better in terms of the base down here, because it was more flat. But that's just a preference thing, So I think SHIB and Theta looked really, really nice. Okay, so let's look at the small time frames on a couple of these coins, and we'll call it. I know there are some requests, and I got you. But looking at SHIB here, it's... See, when I zoom in, it doesn't look that nice. It doesn't look that great looking so far, because again, you still have this head and shoulders looking nasty thing. The only thing I like about it is, let's see, did we have any divergence here? We got a little bit of bullish divergence here, but we really didn't even take out the low to get it. So what do I need to see? I need to see a little bit of a range going on here, maybe like an ascending triangle, and then a breakout. That would be nice to see, right? So that's SHIB. I got to keep moving here. ICP, same thing, exactly the same thing. Let's see a little bit of a base and then a continuation. Same thing. CFX looks a little different. You got kind of like a broadening wedge here, a little bit of a base breakout. That's what I'm thinking. Bitcoin dominance. Oh, remember we were talking about Bitcoin dominance. So we have 3 down, we have 3 up. Now we can maybe, so either this is what's gonna happen. Either this is gonna be an A, and then a B, and then we get a C, number 1, or this right here is gonna be an A, B, C, and then we come up and hit the high. So A, B, C, and then go down. So I think it's going to be one of those two. Now, if we come up here and start breaking out, I'm just going to be like, I just don't understand that. ADA. ADA, you're right back at the support line here. So you buy, right? Sell. So you're in the buy zone according to that channel, right? And that's not financial advice. Nothing I say is financial advice. I could be wrong. I could be always wrong. So, yeah, and that's why I didn't like the charts yesterday, because of the way it was shaped, right? Like, look at the way this is shaped, guys. I'm gonna give you a good example. When you have an impulse and you come down, come back up, come back, that's a beautiful ABC. And then what do? You shoot up, and then you have an ABC here. I mean, this is the most beautiful wave ever, because it symbolizes what it should look like, right? Now, if we look at what we have right now, that doesn't look so pretty, doesn't it? It looks like she, fell off the horse a few times. She don't look so good there. So where's the oscillation at? I mean, it's too much. Up, down, up, down, up. So how do you count that? As an Elliott wave structure type of trader, I don't like wave setups like that. So it always makes it challenging for me. So what do I need to see under this unfortunate circumstance? Well, I want to see support hold. I want to see a base form. I want to see some type of structure that tells me we're going to get a retrace. I want to see 5 waves into that retrace. I want to see a 3-wave pullback out of that retrace, and then I want to see a continuation. And then I have my cup, I have my handle, I have my rocket ship moon boots on. Let's go. So that's kind of how I look at that. On the bearish side, if this comes up, comes back down, comes up, comes back down, and it resets itself, and then we get rejected, we start coming down, then it's going to look like this whole thing was for nothing. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that, but it would more look to me like we have 3 down, we have 3 up, and then we have some type of flat in here. So 3, 3, 3, something like that. We hit the low, and then we continue higher. There's a big liquidation that's coming, and we have to be aware of that. And I just, I don't like this upsloping channel. That's the only thing that I don't like, because it gives me bearish vibes. But that's because you have point A, point B, and you're right in the middle here, point C of the retracement level. So, that's why I'm very, very strict and picky when it comes to wave structure, especially in the retracement levels, because that could really set the tone and the direction coming soon. So I do like how it's flagging out, though. I won't take it away from that. I like how, we're flagging out in here. It looks good. We have a pump and we're flagging out, but now it needs to stop flagging. It needs to chill. It needs to go sideways, and then it needs to break out. So that's what I would love to see happen. Now, do we have divergence in here? We do have bullish divergence on the 2-hour. Boom, boom. So it looks fine. Everything looks great so far. Theta Fuel, when are you going to wake up and do something, huh? You're starting to give me XRP vibes, Theta Fuel. You know how XRP just wouldn't do anything for years. That's what Theta's doing, or Theta Fuel. But that's a good thing, because look what happened to XRP after the fact. Everybody sleeps on Theta Fuel, and then bam, look at this. By the way, hit that like button, guys. I'm about to cross that 1-hour mark, and it's just going to crush my algos. Speaking of algo, let's take a look at it soon. But what we have is exactly what I love, which is a base, right? Looks like we have, 3 up, maybe 3 down. You got 3, 3, 3, 3, right? Let's get 5. Looks fine. And I'm still looking at it from the context of the W pattern, just like we looked at with Ethereum. Look at this. Boom, boom. So we want to see that W pattern take place. So, yeah, we got a beautiful range in here. We broke it. We're retesting it. We're going sideways. Maybe might need to go sideways a little bit more and then continue. Avalanche. Yeah, Avalanche is okay too. You got kind of a cup and handle there. Looks fine to me. Yeah, it's essentially the same as everything else. I like the liquidity grab. That was your spring here, right? It kind of reminds me of Wyckoff. And you hit the high, you come back, and you have a pretty big pullback. But we really need to get up here, flag out, and then go. So I know we're only on Tuesday. I want to see a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday pump, or at least a Tuesday sideways, Wednesday sideways, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday mega pump. I mean, in a perfect world, that's what it would be, right? Axelar. Yeah, it's okay. All right, let's see here. Looked at Link. Oh, what about Trump? Holy crap, Trump is taking off. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Trump, you really you really threw a wrench in everything here with your new coin, but it's okay. What a big range that is. I mean, we basically only went up this candle here. I mean, that is a 10% candle, just that little candle right there. So imagine going all the way back to the top. I mean, you're looking at a 2x just to get back to the top. Now, I like Trump because I like the way it looks. You got an impulse. You got a 3-wave pullback. It looks great. It looks great. And now you're building a base in here. That also looks great. I mean, it's got everything we want. We got an impulse. We got a 3-wave pullback. We got a base at the bottom. We got accumulation. Now, then we want to see it break out. Then we want to see it flag out, get through the retracement levels. It's going to be very sketchy in here, but then once we get through it, it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Or so we think, right? We don't know. It could be the opposite. This could be, for example, WXY, and then we get an X, and then we get a Z. WXYXZ, and then go up, you know? So we got to be consciously aware of that. Monero. Did I look at Monero yet? I think I did. It's coming back down. It shot up a little bit too high. So I'd like to see it kind of do this and then break out. Build a base in here. Right? Kind of like you get 3 up. Okay, let's get 3 down. Come down here. And then we can get 5 up. Something like that. What about dog? I haven't seen dog in a while. I'm the dog, the big bad dog, the bounty hunter. Yeah, it looks okay. You know, I like the falling wedge, but I don't have that anymore. I mean, I guess I still do. Let's see if I could draw it here. I really like the falling wedge. Kind of look to it here. Maybe I could do it like that. So we got kind of like a falling wedge, and it looks fine. I like it like that. Yeah. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see a diag. And then I see an ABC flat. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a diag in the C wave of the flat. And then I have a little bit of an impulse here, and then you kind of want to flag out a little bit and then break out. I mean, that's kind of how I would like to see it happen. If we get that, that'd be great. H bar, I like H bar. We're flagging out. We got 3 down, we got 3 up, we got 3 back down, we got an impulse, we got a flag. Everything's looking fine. The one that really needs to show up to the party is Ethereum, because this is where it starts to really make sense. And you say, well, Ethereum's a dead coin, everyone's capitulating. I would not discount Ethereum. I've been around this game for a long time, and every time I doubt Ethereum, it's always a bad move. Even though it feels like it's never going to move. Like, remember, XRP felt like it was never ever going to break out until it did. And then it shut up all the haters. It silenced everyone, and it humbled them to a point where they couldn't even figure out what happened, even though we were trying to explain every single day how it's happening. So Ethereum looks actually really good, right? You have a beautiful inverse head and shoulders in the making. And this is what I like right here. So let me get my handy dandy arrow out that I never use anymore. So you could see all of these wicks in here, right? This is the good stuff right in here. This is showing that we're holding support, right? So, yeah, I think it's great. We have this kind of looks like an ascending triangle in a way, where you're just kind of, charging up, charging back, A, B, C, D, E. Could even be a triangle, yeah, like A, B, C, D, E. I think that could be a valid argument for an ascending triangle. You're right here. You kind of got... The point is, you want a cup, right? You want to form these cups into resistance. You have a cup, you have a cup, you have a cup, you have a cup, we have a cup, right? Let's look a little bit closer. By the way, where's the bull market? Oh my God. How come I haven't been looking at the bull market support band? That's incredible. I always forget to look at the son of a gun, man. Now I gotta look at all the other charts again. Wow. This is really good. This is beautiful. I'm gonna actually open a position in Ethereum. I think not maybe now, probably a little bit. I don't know. I have to see. But why would I do that? Because we're just hanging out on the bull market support band. Look at that. We broke above the bull market support band. We have a 3-way move back testing into the bull market support band. Looks great. And now we're holding support on the bull market support band. We want to build a base and then continue. So the best thing that this chart has is this 3-wave pullback into the bull market support band, right? CRV, look at CRV. It's not even near the bull market support band. XLM, not even near the bull market support band. That could be concerning, because we could always look at Ethereum Classic, guys. Ethereum Classic looks beautiful. Wow. QNT also looks really nice. Ethereum, what about ICP? ICP, you need to get going, ICP, because you're almost losing it there. So what is the bull market support band? It basically supports the price. That's what it does. Look at freaking Litecoin, man. That is beautiful. Look at that. Pinpoint nails the bull market support band like butter. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, Jasmine, same thing. Bohm has totally lost it. I know it has. Sad, 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 sad for Bohm. But I think I might pick some Bohm up simply because it's pretty much down in the dirt. Render on the bull market support band. Flow, same thing. So this is interesting because all of these coins are actually on their bull market support band. Let's look at Algorand. Algorand hasn't yet touched it. Jupiter. Jupiter, come on now. You came up, you came right back below it. That's okay. Trump doesn't have one yet. Monero. Look at Monero, guys. I haven't even looked at Monero. So, yeah, we could see, support and then resistance. You break out. But look at that right there. Support, right? Looks great. It's holding the bull market support band perfectly. Okay, so Bitcoin, Bitcoin's still a little bit further down to go, but that's okay. I would have loved to see us test the bull market support band down here. I mean, we could still do that. This could be a flat, and then we can come down A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C, A, B, C. We get down here, and we develop a base, and then we go up. I mean, we could still get something like that. So, SHIB, it could be better. Okay, so where's Theta at? Oh, look at Theta, guys. Theta is literally right there. Bull market support, beautiful band. That's what I like to see. And this, guys, damn, I should have did a whole separate video of this. We pump up. We have a base right here. We're holding the bull market support band. We blast off. Same thing here. Right? You build your base, you build your base. You break out, you break out. You flag out, you flag out. You hit the bull market support band, hit the bull market support band, build a base, blast off. Let's go. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Remember, not financial advice. If you get the like, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.